Ladies and gentlemen, pain is something we all experience, yet it's something we often try to avoid, deny, or push away. But I'm here to tell you today that pain, while difficult, is not your enemy. It's not something to fear or run from. It is, in fact, one of the greatest teachers you will ever encounter in your life. Pain has a purpose. It is a part of the process that leads to your transformation and growth. When you understand the purpose of pain, you'll start to see it not as a punishment, but as a tool that God uses to shape you into the person He has destined you to become. You see, pain has a way of breaking us down, not to destroy us, but to refine us. It strips away our pride, our false beliefs, and our comfort zones, allowing us to be remade into something stronger, more resilient, and more purposeful. Every time you go through a trial, a heartache, or a setback, it is not the end. It is simply the beginning of something new, something greater. God uses those moments of pain to stretch you, to build you, and to prepare you for the life you were always meant to live. Without pain, there is no growth. Without adversity, there is no strength. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to become more than you were before. One of the most important steps in transforming pain into strength is embracing vulnerability. It's easy to want to hide from pain, to pretend it doesn't affect us, to put on a mask and show the world that we are fine. But here's the truth: embracing your vulnerability, facing your pain head on, and acknowledging your wounds is the first step toward healing. When you allow yourself to feel, to grieve, and to be open about the pain you are experiencing, you create the space for God's healing power to flow in. Vulnerability doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. It is in your openness, your willingness to accept the pain and let it transform you, that you find true resilience and strength. The next step in transforming pain into strength is shifting your perspective. Pain is often seen as an obstacle, something that stands in the way of our success or happiness. But what if we could shift our perspective and see pain for what it truly is, a stepping stone on the path to our purpose? What if, instead of focusing on the discomfort, we focused on the lessons that pain can teach us? Pain refines our character, teaches us perseverance, and reveals to us who we truly are and what we are made of. The pain you feel today is not the end of the road, it's part of the journey. It's not something that will break you, but something that will build you up, making you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next chapter of your life. Pain also reveals the power of your inner resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, it's about facing them head on with determination, courage, and faith. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to rise from the ashes stronger than before. Every time you overcome a painful experience, you unlock a new level of strength within yourself. It's in these moments that you discover the depth of your inner power, the strength that God has placed within you. You may not see it in the beginning, but every time you get back up, every time you push forward despite the pain, you are building the foundation for your future success. Finally, when you transform pain into strength, you begin to live with purpose and vision. Pain has a way of making us question everything, but if we let it, it can also clarify our purpose. It can help us see what truly matters, what we are truly meant to do in this life. The lessons learned through pain can propel us forward with greater clarity, direction, and focus. You may not have chosen the pain you went through, but you can choose what to do with it. You can choose to let it define you in a negative way, or you can choose to let it shape you into a person of purpose, a person who has learned, grown, and is now ready to fulfill the calling on their life. The pain you face today is not the end of your story. It is simply the beginning of your transformation. When you allow God to use it, when you embrace the lessons it brings, and when you shift your perspective, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more empowered than ever before. Pain may not be easy, but it is powerful. And when you allow it to transform you, it becomes the very thing that pushes you to your greatest success, your greatest strength, and your greatest purpose. So no matter where you are today, no matter the pain you're enduring, know this: you are being prepared for something greater. Keep moving forward, keep embracing the process, and keep trusting that God is using this moment to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. Pain. It's something every one of us has experienced, and something we'll all experience again. It's uncomfortable, challenging, and often feels unbearable. But here's the truth: we sometimes forget pain has a purpose. It's not here to break you or defeat you, but to shape you, refine you, and ultimately push you closer to the person you were meant to be. When we experience pain, we often want to run from it, numb it, or avoid it altogether. We think it's something to be feared, something that signifies weakness or failure. But in reality, pain is a powerful force of growth. It's in those painful moments that we find the strength we didn't know we had. It's in those moments of trial, heartache, and struggle that we discover the depths of our resilience and capacity to endure. Pain isn't something that happens to us for no reason. It's a tool, a teacher that refines us if we're willing to let it. When you're going through pain, you're being forced to stretch, to evolve. Pain challenges your perspective. It forces you to reevaluate your priorities, your goals, and your values. In times of ease, it's easy to become complacent, to think we've arrived, to rest in the comfort of what we already know. But pain jolts us out of that comfort zone. It strips away our illusions, it shakes up our understanding of the world, and often it leads us to deeper self-awareness. Through pain, we learn not just who we are, but who we are capable of becoming. And here's something crucial to remember: pain doesn't just teach us about ourselves, it teaches us about others. Through our struggles, we begin to develop empathy. We understand the suffering of others in a way we never could before. Pain connects us on a deeper level to the human experience. It teaches us humility, compassion, and grace. The more pain we endure, the more equipped we are to help others through their own battles. And in turn, we build stronger bonds with those around us, forming deeper, more meaningful connections. Pain also teaches us the power of resilience. It's easy to stand tall when everything is going well, but when life knocks you down, when you face a setback or heartbreak, that's when your true character is revealed. Pain doesn't define you, but how you respond to it does. Every time you rise after being knocked down, you build resilience. Every time you push through the hurt, the tears, the uncertainty, you become stronger. Pain, when faced head-on, doesn't break you, it builds you, it strengthens you, and it prepares you for the battles ahead. It forges an unshakable foundation, and with every trial, you become more and more capable of overcoming whatever life throws at you. And pain is not a random, meaningless experience. There's a greater purpose behind it, even if we can't see it in the moment. Often pain is preparing you for something greater. It's laying the groundwork for a future you can't yet see. It's teaching you the lessons you need to learn to step into your destiny. Sometimes it's not about the immediate relief from pain that we seek, but the long-term transformation that will come as a result of how we navigate through it. In those darkest moments, when it feels like the pain will never end, you must remember that this is not the final chapter of your story. Pain is a part of the process, but it's not the whole story. It may be painful in the moment, but on the other side of that pain lies growth, healing, and the strength you never knew you had. The key is to trust in the process. Don't let the pain define you. Let it refine you. Let it mold you into someone who is stronger, wiser, and more equipped for what lies ahead. So when you face pain, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Look for the lesson. Find the strength it is building in you. Recognize the growth that is happening in the midst of the struggle. Understand that pain is not the end, it is a necessary part of your transformation. Embrace the process, because you are being shaped into something greater than you could ever imagine. Pain is not your enemy. It is a tool to bring out the best in you, to bring out your strength, your character, and your purpose. And in the end, you will emerge stronger, more powerful, and more capable than ever before. Embracing vulnerability is not something we often talk about in a world that teaches us to be strong, independent, and self-sufficient. We are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us we must have it all together, that we should never show weakness, and that we must be perfect in order to be valued. But the truth is, embracing vulnerability is one of the most powerful, liberating, and life-changing things we can do. It is in our vulnerability that we find our true strength. When we embrace vulnerability, we allow ourselves to be real, authentic, without the masks and pretenses. It's in those raw, unguarded moments that we connect with our deepest selves. Vulnerability means accepting that we don't have all the answers, that we don't always know what's next, and that it's okay to not have everything under control. It's admitting that we need help, that we are broken in some way, and that we are human. And let me tell you, there is nothing more powerful than standing in your own truth, accepting who you are, flaws and all, and saying, I am enough. We often think of vulnerability as weakness, but it's actually a tremendous act of courage. It takes immense strength to be vulnerable in a world that constantly pushes us to hide our true selves. To show up, to speak our truth, and to risk judgment or rejection takes an extraordinary amount of bravery. But when we step into that vulnerability, we invite growth. We give ourselves permission to evolve, to change, and to heal. In those moments, we learn who we really are, what we truly want, and what matters most to us. When we embrace vulnerability, we open the door to deeper relationships and connections. So often we build walls around ourselves to protect our hearts, fearing that if we show too much of ourselves, we'll be hurt or misunderstood. But those walls also keep love, trust, and intimacy at bay. The truth is, the more we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, the more we create space for others to do the same. And when we both show up with honesty, authenticity, and openness, that's when real connections are born. That's when true relationships are formed, relationships that are based on understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. Embracing vulnerability also invites healing. It's impossible to heal from something we refuse to acknowledge. When we are vulnerable, we can finally face the wounds, the hurts, and the disappointments that we've buried deep inside. We can begin the process of forgiveness, not just of others, but of ourselves. Through vulnerability, we allow ourselves to confront the painful parts of our journey and to release the weight of those burdens. We give ourselves the grace to heal, knowing that it's a journey, not a destination. In our lives, we are constantly presented with opportunities to be vulnerable. Whether it's in relationships, in our careers, or even in our personal growth, we have the choice to hide behind a facade or to stand in our truth. It's not always easy, and there will be times when we feel exposed, afraid, or uncertain. But it's in those moments of vulnerability that we find the most growth, the deepest connections, and the greatest strength. When we let go of the fear of being judged or rejected, we free ourselves to fully live, to fully experience, and to fully love. Embracing vulnerability is not about being weak or passive. It's about choosing courage over fear. It's about allowing yourself to be seen, heard, and understood. It's about showing up in the world as your authentic self with all your strengths and imperfections, knowing that you are worthy of love, respect, and success just as you are. So embrace vulnerability. Let go of the need to control every aspect of your life. Open your heart to the possibility of growth, healing, and connection. When you do, you will discover the immense power that lies in your vulnerability. And you will be amazed at the strength it brings into your life. Shifting your perspective is one of the most powerful actions you can take in any situation. It's easy to become trapped by the way we view our circumstances, particularly when things aren't going the way we want them to. When life throws challenges at us, it's natural to see them as obstacles, barriers that prevent us from moving forward. But what if I told you that everything depends on how you choose to see it? What if I told you that your ability to shift your perspective could turn your struggles into stepping stones, your pain into purpose, and your setbacks into setups for success? The way you view the world, and more importantly, the way you view yourself in the world, has the power to determine the outcome of your journey. When we're in the middle of a storm, it's easy to focus on the rain, the wind, the darkness. It feels overwhelming and we can feel like we're drowning in it. But what if, in that moment, instead of focusing on how difficult the storm is, you chose to see it differently? What if you chose to view the storm as a test, an opportunity for growth, a chance to build resilience? Shifting your perspective doesn't change the storm, but it changes you, your ability to stand firm, your ability to grow stronger, your ability to weather the storm with confidence. Our perspective shapes the way we respond to life. The same challenge that brings one person to their knees can lift another to their feet. It's not the challenge itself that defines us, it's how we choose to respond to it. If we see every difficulty as an insurmountable problem, we will shrink from it, retreat into fear, and give up before we've even started. But when we shift our perspective and see those difficulties as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to become stronger, we begin to rise. We tap into a strength we didn't know we had. We become problem solvers, innovators, and creators instead of victims of our circumstances. Shifting perspective is also about recognizing that pain and struggle are not permanent. They may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they don't define who we are. They are not the end of the road, they are part of the journey. So, instead of seeing your current situation as the end of the story, choose to see it as just one chapter. The pain you feel today is shaping the strength you will have tomorrow. The challenges you face today are preparing you for the success that lies ahead. When you change the way you view your present circumstances, you stop seeing yourself as trapped, and you start seeing yourself as empowered. The real power of shifting your perspective is that it allows you to take control of your life. It gives you the ability to choose how you respond, how you grow, and where you go next. When life pushes you down, you can choose to stay down, or you can choose to rise. When obstacles block your path, you can choose to turn away, or you can choose to find a way through. The power lies in your perspective, in the way you choose to interpret what's happening around you. This is not about ignoring the difficulties or pretending they don't exist. It's about shifting from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility. It's about recognizing that you have the power to change the narrative. The circumstances may be tough, but you are tougher. You can choose to see each challenge as a lesson, each struggle as a teacher, and each obstacle as an opportunity to build the strength and wisdom you need to succeed. This shift in perspective doesn't just change the way you see the world, it changes the way the world sees you. When you walk into a room with the mindset that no matter what happens, you will find a way to make it work, the energy you bring with you becomes magnetic. People will begin to see you as someone who is unshakable, someone who faces adversity head-on with courage and confidence. Remember, you are not defined by your circumstances. You are defined by how you choose to see them. You are not a victim of your situation. You are the master of how you respond to it. So when life gets hard, when challenges seem insurmountable, remember that the most powerful thing you can do is shift your perspective. See the situation for what it truly is, an opportunity for growth, an invitation to become stronger, and a chance to build the life you were meant to live. Harnessing inner resilience is a powerful process, one that begins with a deep understanding of who you are at your core. It's easy to look at someone who seems strong and think that their strength comes from external circumstances or resources. But the truth is, true strength doesn't come from what you have on the outside, it comes from within. It comes from the part of you that refuses to give up, even when the odds are stacked against you. The part of you that stands tall when the world wants to knock you down. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, nor is it about having an easy life. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Resilience is forged in the fires of adversity. It's developed when you face your struggles head on, when you rise up after a fall, and when you press forward despite the challenges that seem insurmountable. It's the strength that is built not in the moments of comfort, but in the moments of discomfort, pain, and trial. It is born in the struggle. It is in those moments when life tests you, when things go wrong, when your back is against the wall, that your inner resilience is called into action. The key to harnessing inner resilience lies in how we perceive adversity. You see, the difference between those who crumble and those who rise is the way they view their circumstances. Some people look at a challenge and see it as a roadblock, something to stop them in their tracks. But resilient individuals look at those same challenges as opportunities for growth. They don't see failure as a permanent state. They see it as a lesson, a stepping stone towards something greater. It is through overcoming the difficulties that life throws our way that we grow stronger. It's not about being perfect, it's about pushing forward even when things don't go according to plan. And this is where true resilience begins. The foundation of resilience is rooted in belief, the belief in your own abilities, the belief that you are capable of withstanding whatever life throws your way. But more importantly, it's the belief that you were created for a purpose. You were designed with the strength to weather the storms and the wisdom to learn from them. When you tap into that belief, you become unstoppable. It's the belief that no matter how hard things get, you have what it takes to rise above. You understand that setbacks are not the end, but merely a part of the journey toward your destiny. But belief alone is not enough. Resilience requires action. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about pushing through the moments of doubt, the days when you feel like giving up, and continuing to move forward one step at a time. Resilience is about persistence. It's about getting up when you've been knocked down, and it's about learning to adapt, to pivot, and to keep going even when the path seems unclear. Resilience doesn't mean you have to have all the answers, but it does mean that you keep taking action even in the midst of uncertainty. Harnessing inner resilience also requires a deep level of self-awareness. You have to know who you are, what drives you, and what your true motivations are. The more you understand yourself, the stronger you become. Resilience is not just about enduring pain, but about knowing how to turn that pain into power. When you understand the lessons that adversity brings, you can use them as fuel to drive you forward. Each experience, no matter how painful, adds another layer to your strength, shaping you into a more resilient person. And it's in that process of transformation that you find your true power. You realize that you are more than your circumstances, more than your challenges, more than your past. You are a force to be reckoned with, and nothing can stop you when you tap into your inner resilience. Resilience is also about having a vision, a goal that drives you forward even when times get tough. It's about keeping your eyes on the bigger picture and remembering why you started in the first place. In those moments when you feel like giving up, your vision is what pulls you through. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, the reason you keep going when everything else seems bleak. Your vision fuels your resilience, reminding you that what you are going through is only temporary and that there is something greater waiting for you on the other side. Lastly, inner resilience is not something you develop overnight. It's a process. It's built over time. With each challenge you overcome, each obstacle you face, and each setback you turn into a lesson. It's a muscle that you strengthen the more you use it. And just like physical muscles, the more you push through difficulty, the stronger you become. Life will continue to throw challenges your way, but with each one you will grow more resilient, more capable, and more powerful. When you begin to harness that inner strength, you will realize that no obstacle is too great, no challenge is insurmountable, and no pain is permanent. You were made to overcome, and with resilience, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Harnessing your inner resilience is not just about surviving the storms of life, but about thriving through them. It's about realizing that your strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from learning to stand tall in the face of it. It's about knowing that every challenge, every setback, and every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to become stronger and wiser than before. When you tap into your inner resilience, you unlock a power within you that is unstoppable. So, no matter what life throws your way, remember that you have the ability to rise above it, to keep moving forward, and to transform every struggle into a stepping stone toward your greatness. Embrace your strength, trust in your resilience, and know that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way.